The Change Career Mode hashtag has been receiving a huge amount of support on Twitter recently, with plenty of people becoming increasingly more frustrated with EA for neglecting career mode and failing to address our various concerns and problems when it comes to the game mode. In fact, on Thursday the career mode community came together and the hashtag ended up trending in the UK, which was absolutely incredible, and it just demonstrates how many people care about this game mode and want to see it fixed, changed and improved for the future. Moving forward, we need to push for serious change in career mode, and I urge all of you to use the Change Career Mode hashtag. Also, please do feel free to @me on Twitter with your thoughts about what needs to be changed. Let me know what you want added or improved about the game mode for FIFA 20, and I'll be sure to retweet some of my favourite suggestions that you come up with. And I also read absolutely every single comment that you leave for me on this channel, so if you've got any thoughts or feedback, then leave them in the comment section down below, and every single comment will be read. Anyway though, today I'm going to be talking about 10 things that I want to see in FIFA 20 career mode. I know it's a while yet before that game's released, but EA will have a development team working on the next title right now, so we need to make sure that we make our voices heard and let them know what we want to see from career mode in FIFA 20. Let's get into it then. Leave the video a like if you do go on to enjoy it today, and if you're new to the channel then please do stick around and subscribe. Now though, we've all been there where a player comes through the academy seemingly ill-suited to their position. A tiny centre-back for instance, a giant clunky full-back, or a winger with very limited pace. The snail-paced winger might make for the perfect cam, but no matter how many times you play them in that position, they'll always be listed as a winger. If we did have that ability to train a player to an alternate position though, this would therefore provide a way around this. Plenty of players in real life start out in one position then end up playing somewhere else later on, so why can't we retrain our players within career mode to positions that they're better suited to? Another thing that's quite frustrating in career mode right now is that there are no managerial changes whatsoever. Career mode currently lasts for 15 seasons and the same managers will remain in charge throughout the entire course of that 15 season duration. It would just add a really nice element to career mode if managers did switch clubs. Instead of having just one default formation and tactical setup for each team as is currently the case in the game, it'd be great if managers moved around between different clubs, taking their different approaches with them, and therefore providing a bit of more variety to the game mode. This would help to make each individual career mode save a lot more unique. And it would also be a great touch if once a player retired in the game, some of them would then go on to become managers. Currently when a player retires, their regen appears in the game with the exact same positioning and nationality, but how awesome would it be to see the likes of Messi and Ronaldo going into management within career mode when their playing careers ended. It'd also be great to be able to create your own club within career mode, something that was actually possible in the past, but unfortunately it's no longer available. Back in FIFA 11 there was a feature called the Creation Centre, something that was expanded upon for FIFA 12, allowing us to create different players, teams and tournaments within the game. Sadly this functionality was fairly short-lived though, with FIFA 13 being the last title to support this. You could name your club, choose your logo and kits from a number of different templates, customise the colours, and even upload your own shirt sponsor to be proudly displayed on the shirts. You could then use that team within career mode, taking on the world with your own personalised creation. In Football Manager and PES, creating your own club is fully possible, meaning that FIFA career mode has basically been completely left behind in this area by other football games. And that's especially disappointing given that it's something that used to be present within the game, and the reintroduction of the ability to create your own club would be absolutely massive I feel. And in other EA Sports titles such as Madden and NBA Live, simulated matches within career mode are a lot more involved, and feature the ability to jump into matches if they're not really going your way. Simulated matches also used to be a lot better in FIFA too. For a long while now however, simulated matches have been extremely limited. You pick the team, you set the game to sim, and then that's that. You can't influence substitutions or change tactics in any way whatsoever once you set a game to sim. And in the same respect, if you start a game in FIFA, your only options are to finish playing through it, forfeit the match and therefore take a 3-0 defeat, or turn your console off. There's no ability to sim forward and see how the match plays out if for whatever reason you can't find the time to complete that particular game, or if you're winning comfortably and therefore just want to get the match finished as soon as possible. In Madden you can perform a super sim, and a feature such as this would be incredible to see in FIFA career mode. And something that's bothered me for a while now within career mode is that no matter how a player performs, they'll still have the exact same potential. They could be in the form of their life, or not playing any games whatsoever, yet they'll still be destined to finish up at the exact same rating. If a player moves clubs or is sent out on loan, then this can impact upon their potential. If a player stays loyal to their club though and sticks with them, then their potential will remain unchanged regardless of what happens. Just as players can rise and fall in real life, this should also be the case in FIFA too. There should be some sort of potential range rather than an absolute potential that a player is going to reach. If a young player is performing well and improving each season, then they should keep getting better. Whereas if they're left to rot in the reserves or if they're in particularly poor form, this should have a negative impact upon them. And this could in turn lead to the complete removal of potential indicators. Not only is it all too easy to look at a website like FIFA and find out the exact potential for any real life player in the game, but it's also way too easy right now to see which generated players will develop to become absolute gems too. If you see that a generated player is an exciting prospect or has the potential to be special, you instantly know that they're going to become incredible players. You don't need to scout them further or keep any real tabs on them, you just know that this player is going to become a world beater. If potential ranges were to be implemented though, potential indicators could also be removed from the game, and we could rely on other methods to decide whether or not we'd sign up promising young players, such as their performance at youth level. If we had youth leagues in career mode, then we could see how different players were performing against other players in their age group. I'm not expecting EA to suddenly introduce multiple different levels of youth football in the game, but if we could get under 21 or under 23 football at the very least, that would be a massive step forward. We could judge and evaluate young players based on how they perform at youth level, sign them up, and hopefully develop them to become top talents for the future. Sure, not every single player performing well at youth level would be a star of tomorrow, and it would provide a greater risk when signing up young players, as there would no longer be any guarantees whatsoever about their ability to make it as a professional, but this would nonetheless be far more representative of how things work in real life than a system where every single player with potential does indeed go on to fulfill it and become a fantastic footballer. And it would also be extremely useful to be able to see player stats for players in other leagues. At the moment we can look through and see the league standings around the world to see how teams as a whole are performing, but there's no ability to check in on individual player performances or stats. You can't take a punt on a player that's been smashing in the goals in Norway for example, or providing plenty of assists in the J-League, because you can only see the league performances of players within your own league. If absolute player potentials are to be removed though, then providing stats for players in other leagues could help play a huge role in the new way of scouting players within the game. The ability to upgrade your stadium throughout the course of a career mode save would also be a huge improvement. At the moment, if your team's official stadium isn't already in the game, you pick your stadium at the start and you're then stuck with that stadium throughout the entirety of your career mode save. You can already name it whatever you like, which is quite a nice touch, but the ability to change stadiums throughout the course of a career mode save would be absolutely awesome. You could start out in a tiny little stadium, then work your way up to playing in one of the biggest arenas in world football. You can of course choose to play in a huge stadium right from the start, but that looks slightly strange if you're starting out in the 4th tier of English football for example, and every single week you're selling out a stadium that most top tier sides would struggle to fill. Stadium expansion and stadium upgrades would be a very nice touch, and personally I'd love to see this feature come into career mode in the not too distant future. And finally, something that I personally would love to see in career mode is the implementation of icons within the game. I'd love to have members of the class of 92 in a Manchester United career mode save for instance, or be able to have R9 Ronaldo linking up with Cristiano Ronaldo in the attack. There are currently ways of getting icons into kickoff mode and career mode if you have FIFA 19 on the PC. Unfortunately however, if you're playing the game on console, then you're just stuck with a regular selection of players. It wouldn't necessarily be something that you'd have to have turned on at all times. I know that some people like to have some degree of realism in career mode, and having icons within the game definitely wouldn't provide that. But for people looking to have a bit of fun and play around with some of the best players of all time, it could be a nice little touch. Maybe it could be something that would be unlockable within the catalogue, or alternatively if they really wanted to go there, it could be made available as a microtransaction. You could pay a certain number of FIFA points to unlock it, and for those that wanted to do that, they could. I'd obviously rather not have to pay extra to make career mode more enjoyable, but if it's the only way to get EA to invest some serious time and money into career mode to provide us with substantial upgrades and changes, then I'm fine with that. So that's my list of 10 things that I'd personally love to see in FIFA 20 career mode. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. What would you like to see from career mode moving forward? What do you feel would improve it? And Would you be open to paying a certain amount of FIFA points to unlock things like icons within career mode? Let me know your thoughts. And like I said before, if you are on Twitter, use that change career mode hashtag, tag me in the post, and I will definitely be retweeting some of my favourite suggestions. Thanks for watching the video today though, I hope you've enjoyed it. Leave it a like if you have done. And yeah, let's just keep our fingers crossed that big changes will be coming for FIFA 20 career mode.